we're back with our square cube again, the bamboo cube that comes from Teleflora, the natural color, color of the bamboo cube. And we're taking a different style on this particular design to be able to create something a little bit long and low. So many times in different settings and stuff, long and low arrangements are definitely necessary for visualization between the client across the table and things of that sort. And also has a tendency to be able to take up space. But it raises the arrangement up a little bit by using a little bit of bamboo. So what we've decided to do in this particular design, we are using something that's probably very forgotten by a lot of people, unless you're from a generation of many, many years ago. This is called Woodwardian fern. Woodwardian fern, back in the late, early 20th century, it was very popular in wedding work. Churches, weddings, and things of that sort were used to decorate their church halls and all these areas, these big ferns and stuff. Sometimes they were 6 to 8 feet tall. But these have been trimmed, of course, a little bit, probably laterals of some bigger ferns and stuff. So we've used this to be able to extend the line and create something very soft. It's a very hardy fern, which makes it good for wedding work as well, because wedding work sometimes has to be done weeks and stuff in advance and set up. And then also it's a very soft, sort of feathery fern as well. So it has some good characterizations for both. And one thing that's even more interesting is the fact that we found this beautiful carnation, which is a beautiful new variety that's only been out on the market for a few years. And it's a beautiful sort of almost a very soft, pinky orange color. And it picks up the color that we're going to tie together with some of the orange roses we have. And then also something that we found, which is also good when you go to your local flower market in your area, always make sure that you have a conversation with your wholesale company, your salesperson, to ask them about something that may be a little more unique, a little bit different. Or you may actually just stumble on them once in a while. You step into a cooler and you see something that you know is not usually normal. These ruffled tulips are quite extravagant looking, but they're very cost conscious in some respects, a little bit more than the average tulip for sure. But it sets yourself apart of being a little bit more unique, as creative as a florist could be. So we're going to combine this design and upgrade it from the carnation, which is beautiful and very classic, to something that's a little more unique. So we're going to add some of these beautiful tulips that we're going to incorporate in this design. We're going to take we're going to add these, but we're going to add them to the central part of the design and let them sort of cascade over the design. Instead of just having them be inserted like these carnations are, we're letting the tulips have a place to situate themselves to be a cascading part of the design. Now, we have pavéed carnations and stuff down in the center part of this, and we're actually just going to cut these stems of these tulips and place them between the carnations and let them go between the spaces where the Woodwardian fern, as well as some, you can probably see a little bit of these rusty colored gaylet sleeves that have been inserted as well. The gaylet sleeves are used in a lot of different designs and stuff, mostly as a element to cover foam, so you don't really see the floral foam that's involved. So we've actually added these for both purposes, to color as well as to cover the foam. The color is very pretty and works with the colors that we've chosen here. Now we're going to add a few tulips over on both sides, but I want to let them sort of gracefully hang. And we're going to take these and add a few more that are going to come from all the way over to a style that is a little more unique than just having them stay in one location. Add a few here and there. And we're just going to keep letting the design sort of materialize by just working all these wonderful, unique tulips into the design. So we are setting ourselves apart as a floral company that stays on trend and watches what's available. To be able to offer your customer something a little more unique once in a while is what we all need to do. Now to pull up the color, we're going to use this beautiful orange crushed rose. And orange has become, I think, back in probably the late 90s, orange became sort of the new black for a long time. Orange accessories were available. There were orange flowers that became more popular. And a lot of people always thought they were only good for Halloween or the fall. But now orange has become very, very popular in a lot of designs. When you mix orange with hot pink and chartreuse, it's one of those trends and stuff that's very popular in a lot of different designs, whether it's weddings, events, or just everyday work sometimes. It says happiness and it says color. So we're just going to add some of these just to pull the color down because we have so much green that's here. I want to sort of calm it down by using a pop of color. Now, you think, how can you calm it down with a pop of color? But because the green is so heavy, I want to be able to have some life to it. So the orange brings that life to the actual green Woodwardian fern as well. So we're just going to add a few stems, not very many, but just enough in the central part of what we're doing here to help the eye see down into the fern and beyond the fern as well. It sort of works well with the tulips. We're just going to add probably like about 6 of these just to help the design sort of come to life. And then that's one of our upgrades. So you can see we've added the carnations, the tulips, as well as the orange roses, but we want to do a little more interesting things just to keep it a little more contemporary. So now we have this chartreuse green. Middolino is a man-made product that it comes in different varieties of colors. It's a couple of companies here in the United States do carry it. You can check with your local wholesaler to see what their varieties and stuff and the colors that they have. But we decided because of the green and the orange concepts, as I spoke earlier, we're going to use the green Middolino. Middolino is so flexible as it is, but if you wanted to really work on any of these things, you should be able to soak this in water. Doesn't take much. All you need to do is take these and just insert it in some sort of bucket. You can roll them around, put them in water, and then when you bring them out of the water, they can be used almost in any kind of design. They can be bent almost in little loops. They can be attached, and they can hang things from it. You can insert stems of these into orchid blooms. They could be used in bouquets. A lot of different variations. So what we're going to do in this design, we're going to take about 5 stems of these, okay, and we're going to add a little bit of color. The color is going to be a little bit of this copper-colored bullion wire that we have available here. And we're taking the bullion wire and we're sort of just adding this color. And the reason we're adding the color is because it's a version of the orange and the natural wood box. So we're just going to wind around a few little pieces of Middolino around the bottom. And we're just going to tie it together. And we're going to take a few other little pieces and we're just going to take them down a little bit further. And we're going to tie the other end together. We're just going to tie the ends for right now, just for color. Trim off any excess. Okay. And then we're going to open this up just a little bit. And we're going to add 2 pieces halfway. And we're going to take more Middolino, roll out a small piece from the spool. And we're going to attach this piece to the middle of the 2 pieces that were separated in the middle. As you can see, we've sort of created an opening, and we're attaching this piece to this area. It's just for the color and also to cure it. That's basically what we're doing. We tie it off. And then we're going to open this up a little bit, just to give it a unique shape. And we're going to take the piece that we're going to cut away. some more pieces of middolino, some more wire with the middolino to tie it together. And bind it just like we did on the other side. Just keep binding till you get it to where it's taut and separated. And there you go. We're going to slide it because it can still slide just a little bit. I want it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to trim off the excess on this end. And all we're going to do, believe it or not, is just lay this on top of this just as a design element. That's all there is to it. It doesn't have to have a particular reason. It's a design element. It's part of the texture, makes it a little bit more unique and different as well. So an upgrade from the carnations and the fern to the tulips and the fern, added with the roses, and then a little bit of middolino for a treatment for something that's a little bit more unique than something that's so not the same. It's not for all those customers, but there are some of those things. You could attach other things to the middolino if you wanted to. You could add water tubes that would hang down from the bottom with flowers inserted. You could glue blooms and blossoms of succulent petals and stuff into it. There's a lot of different variations and stuff you do because this gives you a medium to be able to add to it and use it more and more. And I said, and if it's not what you want, you can always take it apart and use it for something else. It's a great commodity to be able to have and be able to let your customers know that you can do things that are a little bit different with something that's not always seen.